Hey, okay, welcome to the third session. So we are almost halfway through the program, and I hope you guys are really having fun. And yeah, I hope the last week was quite challenging. I hope it put you out of your comfort zone, and I hope that you guys came out acing it on the other end. So before we get into things, yeah, we know we are a little bit behind on scoring yesterday's and today's missions. We're gonna do it by tonight, so please bear with us on that. And yeah, let's so first to talk to you about a couple of things. So today in today's session, we're going to talk to you on how do you get visible? How do you get visible to potential future employers? What are the things that you need to do to look like a lot more of an attractive candidate to get hired for, as a full-time role, as an intern into a startup as you go by you would require to know how you become that. And so we have Sonika to talk to you about how important resume building is, and how do you go about writing a good resume there.
Hi guys. So today I'll be telling you about how important building a resume is, because you will be applying to a lot of jobs from now. I'm sure that a lot of you want to like work with new companies and explore yourself. So the basic thing is that you need to have a good resume. I mean, it's not compulsion that most all the companies see your resume or something, but if you want like a wider approach, then you need to have a resume. So on online portals, if you come, then there's something. I'm not sure how many of you heard about AngelList. There's another portal called LinkedIn. I'm sure that all of you know about it by now. So we will be telling you how to create your profile on these two links. So I'll be to start off with how to actually come up with a good resume. So resume is basically something that speaks about yourself. Okay. So resume is something that speaks about yourself. Now you are portraying your entire experience and your education on a single sheet of paper. So it has to be as precise and as brief yet very impactful. So how do you do that? I'm going to tell you a few tips because I was also I did like around 2 to 3 jobs, and all my listings and everything were through AngelList. And I mean, with Baka it was different, but then yeah, before whatever I did was through AngelList. So I created my profile when I was in second year. So to have a very good resume, I think most of us I come up with the standard form of writing the objective, saying that I'm a eligible candidate and I need a job in certain field or something of that sort. I think as the world is changing, I think the way we implement things should also change. Most of the employers now are going through your social media profiles to even hire you, in fact, because they need to have a mini glimpse of what you do, what kind of person you are. So when you're writing a resume, you better chuck the objective as such and write a summary instead. Like write a professional summary saying that what interests you to apply to the company that you're applying to. Like if you are a travel freak or if you like traveling, then you're writing just an example that let's just say that you're applying for Airbnb. So it has to be put in such a way that, see, I am interested in traveling. It's been my passion, and I was truly amazed when a startup came through and just captured the entire world with its idea. So I want to work in this platform. So we have after this session, I would recommend you, I will post a link on the WhatsApp group. Just go through it. Show her. So I think I'm going to show you her resume. So this girl is from Middle East. So what she's done is that firstly she got rejected by Airbnb when she applied through the standard form. She got rejected. Then she made a different website and she put it online. She put her entire resume and she made a point to tell Airbnb that why should they come to Airbnb. If you know what Airbnb does, Airbnb is like a bread and breakfast platform. So what they do is that suppose if you're going to Germany, let's say you're going to Germany and you want like to have an access of food and accommodation at a very low price. So what do you do if you have like 2 3 apartments to spare? You can just tell them that, you know, I can give you at this price, and the people who's coming from abroad can come and stay there. So that's what Airbnb does. So if you can see, this is her profile. Her name is Nina. So I mean, after the session also you can go check it out. So her resume is totally out of the standard form. It just breaks the stereotypes. I will show you another resume which is like a standard form. So first she came up with a summary why she wants to work with Airbnb, and her whatever contact address is everything written. So she said she started off with how Airbnb is working and how is it taking over the world and what's missing, if you can see. What's scrolling down?
Yeah, it's in YouTube.
Okay, so she mentioned what's missing. So Airbnb is a very famous platform in the West, in US or in Europe and everything. But when it comes to Middle East, they are lacking much behind. So she said that what they are missing in these places, and she said that, you know, I can change this. I mean, she was applying for a marketing role. So she said why if your Airbnb is not approaching a sect of the planet, and why it matters to be there, because it's again Middle East. Let's though it's a bit disturbed area, but then it has beautiful places to look after. Like it's one of the richest. So she mentioned why it is so important for Airbnb to tap, and she gave like a plan how to start and where to start, and that's how it is. uh, yeah, so you've seen her resume. So writing a resume in a very standard form, I think everyone's learned about how to write a resume right in our inter or in our schooling or engineering first year. So our college management has told us what to write and how to write it, but it doesn't really work that way. Yeah, like I told you, first start off with a professional summary. Tell about why you applying for a company, which whatever you're applying for. And also like usually you must have learned that everything has to be in a chronological order. I think it has to be in reverse chronological order. Tell them what are you doing latest. Like in 2010 you were holding an internship somewhere, and 2014 you were holding an internship somewhere. It should not be like 2010 comes first and then 2014. The 2014 has to come first and 2010. So it has to be, I'm just telling you the basic steps of resume. So put it in a reverse chronological order. And also when you're mentioning a job, do not, I think telling them that you were interning somewhere in a marketing role, and it's very easy to say that that is not important. So you just give a glimpse of what role you were holding, but when you come into the summary, tell them how well you did what you did, and how did your innovation has changed the world, like, you know, um, has has been profitable to the company. Like suppose let's say you're working in a sales firm. You're working in a sales firm, and you say every sales company tells its employees to, you know, go forward and sell as much as you can in, you know, good tone or something. What if a salesman came with a strategical plan of changing how it's sold? Like usually what sales, if you guys have witnessed sales and everything, so what they do, they go one on one and try to sell a product. So let's say suppose if a salesman has came up with a campaign online or through any platform. He's come up with a campaign, and then he's promoting his product and selling people without taking any efforts. Now that is something really good. Now he has to mention that. Um, while writing in the resume, he can mention that through my strategy of promoting so and so company and so and so platform has bought these many users, and I've got a revenue of this much. So it makes a better impact of telling, rather than just saying that I've done what it takes. Even if you're writing in such a way, you put it in a very impactful manner. Use professional terms, which makes it a little more heavy when it comes to writing a resume. And also your education and the professional experience has to come first, and the education has to come to the last. So yesterday my friend was telling, like, we were having a random conversation. What my friend told me was, it doesn't matter, probably you are starting off in something that you don't like, but after 4 years from now, people will start recognizing you based on the experience that you had, but not on your previous past or anything as such. So, on a similar note, whenever you're okay, okay, so yeah, your experience really matters. So your education really doesn't matter. It is basically a step forward where you're going to take a job, or where your interests lie in. But education has to come to your last. And please don't mention your percentages or anything as such. I think most of you are in second, third years or fourth years max. So when you're applying for an internship, I think your resume is going to be very fresh, because of the work experience and everything. It's just a starting phase for you. You are going to come up with a lot more things ahead. So do not leave on any opportunity. Write about every opportunity you had in the college, or be it organization, or any small event in the college. Please mention it till you gain a certain experience, which can be put on a professional resume. uh, so yeah, that's all for now. I will yeah, so we will share about the angel. Should we show them? Okay, Vanilla will take care of.
Um, Yep. Hi. So that's about how you build a really good resume. It's basically very basic points that she covered as of now. It's something that you ought to know, but always you can go the extra mile. Like Nina did it for Airbnb. Lots of people have really done an extraordinary job with their resumes, because often companies cannot be interviewing hundreds of people, so they need to have some basic way of cutting it down. So CG can be like CG, or your percentages can be one of the dumbest ways to use it. The next best thing to do is resumes. So like one good way I really think is to know what the person's personality is to stalk them on social media. What kind of stuff are they interested in, what their opinions are, and things like that. So I do that if I'm looking to analyze whether a person is fit for my organization or not. I make it a point to stalk them on social media, because that really gives me a idea of their personality. Beyond that, I think so what Sonika was concluding with is that AngelList is a very good place that you can meet your potential employers. It's a place, especially startups, really look for really look for their potential employees. And it works both way around. It's not just you can also go look for your jobs on there. So companies will post their openings, and you can show them. So I'll just give you a short glimpse of what it is like. One second. Yep. So this is what your AngelList profile looks like. So this is mine as of now. So the first thing that you would need to like So a couple of things. Let me show you somebody's Angelus profile. There. Yeah. So when you do your Angelus profile, this is what people see at the first. So this is like a two-line summary of what you do. Ideally, one sec, I doubt I shared my screen. Yeah. So this is what somebody looks at when they look at your Angelus profile, right? They look at your picture and they see your name and they see like a two-line summary of yourself. So ideally, this should give be one or two lines about what your like qualifications are or what you're up to, as in it can be what your current role is and your education, right? um, uh, but on the other hand, it's always a good idea to include one line that kind of describes yourself as is done in this profile, so that gives people an idea of what you really are. So it's always a good idea. So you need to put this on LinkedIn as well. So LinkedIn also asks you to write a paragraph about yourself. So it's always a good idea to come up with like a one or two line description of what your personality really is, or what you kind of a line that describes what you really are. um, once you're done creating this profile, it's just basic stuff about you know, what projects you worked on, where you worked at, and things like that. Once you finish creating your Angelus profile, check out the section that's called jobs. Here you'll find the listing of all jobs in an order that match you highest on the top and the remaining ones. So the first thing you need to do is go to create profile and kind of put in what you're looking for. What kind of role is it? It's a software engineer, full stack developer, back end, front end. Are you looking for job in sales? Are you a designer, UI, UX? What is the role you are looking for, and what kind of job type is it? A full time, intern, etc. Just fill out this part. This helps AngelList match your profile and show you the best job recommendations. So once you finish that, you can just browse through all the jobs listing. For example, here you can see Snacks at Work is looking for an intern in marketing. So it's very easy to just say, just click on that and click yes, I'm interested. So as soon as you click on yes, I'm interested, it sends an email to the person who posted the listing, as in the company, saying that you are interested in to work for them in a role that they posted. And even if they also click that they are interested, so AngelList puts you both in an email loop and puts you both in touch so that you can take it forward. So it's possible that you meet a lot of your future employees here. We met a lot of our own people on AngelList. So AngelList now is a very good place where you can meet potential employers. So I strongly recommend all of you get on it, create a profile, create a job profile, and then browse through jobs and you look what you see. For example, Omatra is looking for sales and operations marketing, and Festal is looking for SEO and digital marketing manager. So there's a lot of options, and it's as simple as just clicking on the company and saying yes, I'm interested. That's how simple it is. So I would really strongly recommend that you take get on AngelList and create your profile. Yeah. So yeah. So the other thing that we really wanted to discuss with you guys is, so of in the course of interaction with you all during the since the time we started, since session one to now, and otherwise offline interacting with you guys, the thing that we realized is um, we as students, when we are what 17, 18 years old, um, may not be looking at what kind of our goal should be in life in terms of. So there's this slight let me make a small clarification here. When I say goal, I'm not talking about the path. For example, just to give you an example, so I always wanted to be an IAS officer. So it started off very funnily with my grandfather just blessed me when I was like in my first class or something, saying you be an IAS officer, and I took it very seriously. I said, okay, I'm going to be an IAS officer, and I just didn't dream about it. I used to work, I used to read like competition success review when I was sixth or something like that. But when I came into college and in my first year, that build up of that, I'm going to be an IAS officer, that I had over 10 years of time or 15 years of broke down, because the question was, okay, to become an IAS officer is just a 5 year thing. 5 years later I can be one. What after that? What am I going to do? What is it that I want after that? And I didn't have an answer, because I did not set a goal. I just set a path. So I said I'm going to take become an IAS officer. That can't be the goal. Goal is something that you want to see at the end of your life happening, the kind of difference that you want to make. That's a goal. So do I want to be an IAS officer? Do I want to be an entrepreneur? Do I want to be a social activist or anything else? And do I so these are all paths to get to your goal, right? So the difference is it's important to identify that. And I think we, especially in India, have been conditioned to assume our paths to be goals. So all we think of is, I want to be an engineer, I want to do a PhD and be a professor, or I want to be an entrepreneur, anything. So we're just thinking of the paths. So yeah, you became a professor, then what is it that you really want to do? So a goal for somebody who says that I want to be a professor is to say that this is the research I want to do and this is the change. For example, if you want to be a microbiologist, for say, and the kind of goal that someone who's choosing those kinds of paths should have is, I want to perhaps wipe away such and such disease from the face of the earth. That's a goal. Now you decide whether being a microbiologist is a good thing. Should you be a professor who's a microbiologist, or should you work in the industry? So these are paths that you need to fix once you fix your goals, right? So that's the kind of difference that we, especially, I mean, to be very specific, I doubt in South India at least we've lost that concept. All we do is, once you get into eighth class, or I'm even saying eighth class now, it's sixth or fifth, or I don't know what, you throw into a ITJ coaching, and then you do your 11th and 12th, and you try JE and end up in one college or the other. So it's not okay. We as as a community won't be able to go forward if all of us are just becoming engineers. We need doctors, we need cricketers, we need musicians, we need people to be excelling in every field, and only then is when we go forward. If all of us are just flooding towards being engineers, it's not okay. And if we need people to excel in all of these fields, we need to at least start aiming in those directions. At least all of us need to have this end goal for us to even start off on those paths. So that's the thing that I really wanted to encourage you guys. So what we did today morning in the session is, we encouraged everybody to think of that end goal that people wanted. So somebody came up with something like, I want to make sure every child under 14 years of age gets education. And we had somebody who said that, I want to make sure animals are cared for. And somebody else many variety of things. And so I want to really encourage you guys to kind of focus towards setting that goal. And really understand what the difference between goal and path is. So if you are deciding that, I want to be an entrepreneur, for that matter, that's also a path, right? So this is, for example, let's take Elon Musk. So he set two major goals for himself. One, we as human race have run a lot of development, possibly a lot of it is irreversible. So we need to think of options to live on once things get much worse. So he said, I'm going to colonize Mars as an alternative place that we can live in. And the second thing he said, in order to extend our time on this planet, we need to work towards conserving our natural resources, conserving energy, and go towards cleaner energy sources. So he said these are the two problems that are important for us to solve. important for human race, and he said solving them as the goal. So then came fine, he found SpaceX in order to, it's the first privately held company that built machines that went into the space, right? So the all these are paths, and they don't matter much until the goals are reached, because paths are just intermediary things that you go through until you go to your goals. So that's the kind of goals that you want to set in terms of what is the dent I'm going to make in the knowledge sphere we have right now. How am I going to push the human race forward, or how am I going to push my own limits forward? That's the kind of um, thing that you need to look at. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have one mission where we would really encourage you to share, find, think, just take time to think for yourself in terms of what that goal should be, and we would really encourage you to change it, because through this process, at least after this 30-day period is over, I would hope all of you are just at least 1 inch closer to where you want to be, and to even for us, or for you to even know whether or not you're closer, you need to be know how far your goal is. Otherwise you wouldn't even know if you're closer or farther, if you've made any progress, right? So we would be having one mission where I would really encourage you guys to think and give it a lot of thought and decide what your goal should be, and if you could share it with us at the end of it, we can see how much closer we got to it, and even if we made any sort of progress. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The second thing that we really wanted to talk to you guys about is, so when we did Mission Gold Rush in the last week, most likely all of you guys went to your friends and said, okay, now yeah, download card, it's all nice and things like that. So it was really your friend circle or your family that you went to and said, use the app. So this is a circle that's fairly easy to influence, right? So all of these people, and they're just going to download the app just because they know who you are, and are asking them to download the app. It's fairly simple and very very easy to influence these people. What's much harder than influencing these people is convincing somebody who you don't know and get them to do something that you want. You don't know anything about this person. They might be a software engineer, a student, a cricketer, a drug addict, I don't know what. So they can be ton of other things that the person is. How do you influence a person that you don't know to do it? It can be one of your college students that you don't know. So how do you get these people to do what you want? That is a 10 times harder challenge. So this week is going to be all about that. The whole theme is, how do you get somebody who you don't know to do what you want? So there are multiple things that you can do that, and it can be social media, it can be just talking to people in general. How do you do that? How do you have a conversation with somebody who you don't know and still get them to do what you want to do? So that's something. So public speaking is one way that you can really do this. So there are a couple of things that I wanted to share with you guys. So when you don't know people, or when you don't know somebody, first thing you need to do is this. For example, I'm standing in front of a person like Sonika sitting right here. If I didn't know her, and I still want to, first of all, to get them to do something, you need to be able to have a conversation with them. Like, you need to be able to talk to them. That means you need an icebreaker. If, for example, like for example, if it's a software employee and you're just catching him before his like 8 a.m. shift, he's going to be in a hurry. Or if you're catching him right after his 10 p.m. shift, he's going to be in a hurry to get back home and sleep. So that's not the right time to catch hold of him. You need to talk to him when he has the time to listen to you. And the kind of stuff that you would use to talk to them also should be different. For example, if it's a student that you are talking to about, perhaps trying a conversation about how his college life is going, or how annoying he's getting, how annoyed he's getting with his professors, might be a good way to start. So having a conversational icebreaker is a as important. And if you want to be somebody who's able to talk and communicate really well, one good thing, that one really important thing that you can do you need to inculcate in yourself is to observe. So observation gives you a lot of cues about what kind of person they are, what personality they have. Are they narrow minded or are they broad minded? So all these things help you in what you want to talk to them about, right? So you need to develop that observational skill in yourself to and that is going to give you a lot of cues on what to talk to the person about. Hmm. The other thing is, so that's about talking to a person individually, one on one. How are you going to do it when you're doing it in masses? Like, you know, if there are like 60 people or 100 people sitting in front of you, and you want them as a group to do something that you want, how do you influence them? So it's first, so a couple of things are, first of all, your as soon as somebody sees you, it's your personality. Are you folding your hands? Do you have your hands behind you? Are you constricted or are you confident? So when you walk into a room, you need to project confidence, and confidence is a very, very attractive thing. People look at somebody who's confident. People want to talk to people who are confident. So get your body to look very, very confident. You might be scared out of your, and you might be totally out of limb here, but you can still look confident if you can just use your arms and legs and personality well. Second thing is, let's imagine you're talking to 100 people. If you just stand in one place and you're holding a piece of paper and just trying to talk to them like that, that's not going to come across as a very confident person. Walk around, use the space that you have. And walking shouldn't be like, okay, I'm here for a second, I talk, and I finish a portion of history, and then I walk up till here, and then I do my remaining speech here. That's not how it should be. It should be like, you speak, you walk here, do a little bit more speaking, talk while you walk, and then you can come back and talk. So use the entire space. That gives you a lot more personality, that gives you a lot more space. And these are all stuff about how you talk. So let's talk about what to talk about. So let's say you've got the best personality, and one more thing that before I forget about it, the other thing when you talk is, so most of you must already be knowing how annoying that monotonous professor voice gets to your head. You shouldn't sound like a news reader who's reading it all. Aaj ke, kabre ye wo. You need to have your voice modulate things, and when you're trying to make a very emotional or very strong point, use it very loudly. If any of you have heard Modi speeches, he first say, he just first greet people, ladies and gentlemen, or and then immediately he's like, "Aaj ke Bharat," he just takes it to really, really high, and then you automatically become very, very patriotic, and you just own up India all at the same time. And then he all like, "मैं ये करना चाहता हूँ and ये करना चाहता हूँ," and he'll end on a very nice note. इसीलिए आप मुझे support कीजिए, and that comes across as a very humbling note. So he the fact that he asks you to vote for him, he says it on a very, very slow note, but when he's talking about India and things like that, he's got a very high modulation. So what does that do? It makes you own up India, and even though he asked you for vote, he just comes across as a quite humble man. So that's the kind of thing that you need to inculcate to keep people listening to you, right? Okay, so I have a small TED videos. Oh, by the way, all of you should just really start watching TED videos, because that's something that gives you a lot of things to learn. And yes, so
How do you explain or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy the assumptions? For example, why is Apple's community year after year after year even more innovative than other competition? And yet they're just as beautiful. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access, the same talent, the same influence, the same social, the same media. The rise of the day seemed to have something to do with it. The rise of Martin Luther King led to civil rights movement. He wasn't the only man who suffered in the case of the rights of America. He certainly wasn't the only man who ever did. And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out control power and flight when there were certain other teams who could qualify and funded, and they didn't achieve power? There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery incredibly changed my view of how I felt the world working, maybe that changed the way I operated. As it turns out, there's a pattern, as it turns out, one of the great inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or others, that we think, act, and communicate in the exact same way. And it's the complete opposite of the limits. The alignment is critical. And it's utterly the words simplest I call it the golden circle. Why, how, this little idea explains why some organizations and suddenly unable to spell or unable to find material very quickly. Every single person in this organization knows what they do underneath. Some know how they do it, whatever the definition by particularly proprietary necessary in any state, but very few human organizations know why they do it. But by why they do it, that's all substance, that's all it is. By why they do purpose, which is equality, which is belief. Why does an organization exist? Why do they do it? And why should we do it? As a result, when we think, when we act, when we communicate, it's from the outside in, it's not what's interesting. Inside of them, inside of organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, they do act like them. I use academic because every academic or like everything else, marketing is something like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Why not? And that's how most of us play. That's how most marketing is done. That's how social. That's how most of us play. We'll see what we'll do. We'll see how different our makes sense of functionality and something like that. Those are all more this one, the biggest content, and this is those are not how. That's how it works. Or the seeds. Here's how marketing actually works. Everything we do, we believe in changing this sector. We believe we can be different. The way we change this place is by making outcomes more predictable, simple to use, and user-friendly. I just happen to focus on one point. So we're looking at it, back up there. As a first level of motivation, our first, when people think about what they do, people about why they do, people think about what they think about why they do. This explains why every single person in the room is perfectly comfortable by what they're passionate about. But we're also perfectly comfortable by what we're passionate about. We're fine with the DDR. But as I said before, that's just a mechanical unit. It's not going to storage the structural companies. Our competitors are deeply qualified to make one of those products. In fact, they tried a few years ago. They were to work with fractional TVs. But they were not qualified to make fractional TVs. They were able to fractional numbers for rooms.
Yeah, so that's the point he was trying to make is when you go from what and then how and then why, so you're just trying to appeal to people in terms of what they need to buy. But when you convince people of why they should buy things, then you can sell them anything, because now they relate to you. In fact, even if your product is slightly faulty or if there are issues, they forgive it, because now they relate to you, and they there's a synergy between your ideology and their ideology, and they're showing you the reason why you need to synergize with them. And once you do that, there's no going back. So that's the reason Apple is one of the most valuable companies in the world, because they do not sell their what, they sell their why. So that's the kind of way you need to put it. So one of the missions in this week's challenges includes that you need to go to your classes, and classes or libraries or a group of people anywhere you can get. So for example, imagine you're talking to one of the class and you're talking about Bucker. You need to go other way around. So you need to talk about the why, and then you talk about the how, and then you talk about the what, right? How would you do that? Why are we doing this? Because we want to create technology that is very very simple. As of now, you will have to go to every app and then struggle with each of them to get the best service, whereas it should have been that I could just like talk to my phone and say get me a cab, and by the time I'm done with my office it has my cab, or by the time I get home it already has. That's what we want to build. How are we doing that? By taking three steps. One, by the time you know what the user is needing, then you are able to serve it with the best possible option from the multiple service providers, be it cabs, be it food ordering, be it recharge, be it anything. And then we are working towards automatically recognizing that need, right? And as a result, we have this app. Now would you download it? That's the way you're gonna have to talk to the class that you're talking to, or the group of people in your canteen, library, anywhere. Just catch it. So that's pretty much what I we wanted to share with you guys. Is there anything else that you? So yeah, I hope all of you are able to do it. I'll have the YouTube link of the session live out, and I'll post it out in Schoology so that you guys can check it out if you guys missed it. I'm also going to post the link of the TED Talk in case the audio wasn't clear, so that you guys can go back and listen to it. I just showed a portion of it. There's a little more to the end. You guys can go and check it out. And I know that a lot of you weren't able to attend the live session today because you had exams and stuff. So feel free to reach out to me and Sonika anytime you want. We will be there more than we were last time, considering you have exams. And let's ping us, call us, find us on Facebook, do anything, find us anywhere that you like, and we'll always answer your questions. And yeah, bye.